when I realized what I did, I realized like it really make you look broke when you steal something, when you could really go out and buy it yourself. Like with families, they spent their hard work and money on it, and like I just took it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? You listening to the What I Know Now podcast about life inside the juvenile justice system and what it's like to turn things around after. I'm Bilal and I've been through it.
And my name is Cole Williams. I am an advocate, a father, and I entered into the Juvenile Detention Center because my son was there. We're going to sit down with young men and young women who've been through the juvenile justice system, just like Bilal. And we'll talk about how they got in, how they got out, and what they know now.
We're here to break down those walls, have some raw conversations, and hopefully change some lives along the way. Let's get into it. And we're here with Dominic. How you doing?
I'm straight. I'm cool.
Straight cooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm chilling.
So a little backstory, Dom is one of the boys that we got in our Boys and Mentors group. So I get to talk to him on a regular and stuff like that. But now we want to dive a little bit deeper into like how you got into the space, how y'all came in contact with us. At what age were you when you first entered the juvenile justice system?
When I was 14. Yeah, when I was 14, I got locked up for a car. I just thought I was having fun until it really got serious. So I thought that it was fun at first. Like, I was just out all night. Doing me. I was smoking. I wasn't doing good at all. I was just in a bad spot, and I didn't even think I'd be here today. Like, I was going through it a lot. I was going through it with my mom, with a lot of people.
What was it like, and where did you go when you first entered into this system called the juvenile justice system? Were you arrested? Did you go to the detention center? Like, what was the process for you?
So, all right, I'm going to just walk y'all through when I got caught and all that, basically. So, I got caught, the car smacked into the fence. My mans was driving, and then he smacked into the fence. He crashed. And then when he crashed, we all got out and ran. And then when we got out and ran, we jumped the fence. And we was with a female, and I wasn't finna let no female get locked up. That's not me. I never want to see that for somebody. So I helped her over the fence. And then when I helped her over the fence, that's when they grabbed me and everything. But the officer, he had broke my phone, and he stomped it out, and he threw it. And then he ripped my ski mask off. And then after that, they put me in a car. And then when they found the dude, they said his name on the walkie-talkie. But when they said his name, they said they was bringing him home. And the whole time, he was 18. And when you get caught for a stolen car when you 18, they don't take that light. So when all that happened and I processed it, I realized what happened. I realized he told because I was the only one going in. So after that, they put me in a car. They read me my rights. They closed the door, and then they brought me to the county first. Yeah, they brought me to the county. They did my fingerprints. They did my DNA, all of that. And then that's when they brought me to the juvenile. And then they asked me questions, like some personal, some not. They just asked me a little bit of questions. I got locked up back in quarantine, so they brought me to the SHU. And then in the SHU, all you could do is just be inside of your cell all day for 24 hours unless you got court or unless you got to go and see the nurse. So I was up in there, and then really in the juve, it made me think a lot. It made me rethink all my moments and what I did, really. And what I did, it was messed up. And when I realized what I did, I realized, like, it really make you look broke when you steal something, when you could really go out and buy it yourself. Like, with families, they spent their hard work and money on it, and like I just took it.
Like navigating the juvenile justice system, I know you may have a little bit different view now because we talk about it, in our sessions and stuff like that. But going through it when you first entered, would you say you understood what was going on, what was happening to you while you was in? I'm talking about on the judicial side, like with the laws and your rights and stuff like that. Did you understand what was going through the process, your lawyer, the probation, stuff like that?
Yeah, I understood a little bit because of my PO. She helped me understand a lot of it. Like, still to this day, I wish I should have kept her number. But, man, once I got off papers, I ended up blocking her. So,
okay.
But, yeah, she opened my eyes about, like, because about a lot of the stuff what I got locked up for, at first, they put GTA. I had GTA. I got charged with all of the tools that we used to steal the car. And then on top of that, I got charged with driving it. And I wasn't even a driver. So with all that them charges, if I was an adult, if I was 18, I could have really got some time for that. So that opened my eyes like, dang, I really could have spent all that time locked up for doing something dumb that I thought was fun. But my mom taught me it's all fun and games till some go down or some get hurt.
A lot of people believe kids that commit crime, because you committed a crime, right?
Yeah.
So kids who commit crimes should be locked up. Do you believe that?
No, like, I mean, some kids, I mean, they just be having a hard past. So no, I really what I think is somewhat they role models, cause that's what they seeing growing up. So they want to do that themselves. So some of them know, but some kids, they just followers, so they need to be locked up.
So when you talk about some kids need to be locked up because they're followers, I'm gonna add you to the conversation too, Bilal, because that's one of the things. I mean, a lot of people just believe kids who act out, kids who get in trouble, they should be locked up. They should not always necessarily be considered. You should be charged for your crime. And the fact that you were a juvenile, for a lot of people, like, that's not fair. You've caused harm to the community. You should be locked up and you should do the time. And so when you talk about kids that are followers, do you guys believe that those kids that are followers who commit crimes should have a harsher penalty than kids that don't necessarily have role models, just based off of what Dom said?
Like for the following aspect.
So we're talking about kids that are followers. So
Right.
I follow the crowd, I follow my peers, and then I get caught up in it.
Okay, so I got two things. I don't wish like incarceration on nobody. That's kind of like a thing on me. Like,
Okay.
I don't wish it on nobody. I don't wish it on anybody.
Okay.
But I feel, one, I was just at a meeting with the MCYJ. Shout out to Jason Smith.
Yep. Shout out.
In Detroit. And there was actually a study on it, like kids who commit crimes and kids who may do wrong to the public eye end up eventually growing out of that.
Yep.
So that opened my eyes as well. But on top of that, I feel like kids who follow, they following something. It's influenced by something. And I feel like if you can get to them before that influential source gets to them or influences them, there's hope.
Okay. So now let's talk a little bit about how we met you. We met you at Next Tech High School.
Yeah.
We showed up for a program. What was your initial thoughts about the program, about us?
We was just talking about this today.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
I sat there, I was like, man, we probably just gonna see them one time a week. And I mean, like, we probably just finna talk about what all happened every week and talk about how we could like adjust that or something. But whole time it was something different. Like, I never thought I'd be here today.
Different how?
Yeah,
Like,
Talk to me.
Like, man, it's different. Like, I mean, I said this on the other podcast, but now, like, Bilal like an older brother to me now. Like, yeah, like, he showed us the route now. Like, before, I didn't want to go to college or none of that. What? He just set me up, some colleges, all that. Like, yeah, this really a good program for her. And I never thought that I'd really be here. Like, I didn't. Before, when I was on papers and everything, I was just stuck. I ain't even think I was gonna be alive still. And now I'm here. I'm about to go to college and all.
Well, you graduating, right?
Yeah, man, I graduated in February.
Come on,
Graduated in February.
We got to toast for that, man. You
Graduated in February.
Look, we got
Yeah,
to throw up a
man.
water
I
toast.
graduated in
This water,
February.
y'all. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you think that you were going to graduate?
No, when I first came to the school, I had 2 credits. And I was a junior. And then I made all that up. And now I'm about to graduate early.
And tell them how old you is. Too.
Wow.
I'm 17.
Wow. Come on, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's that feel like when you think about how you started, where you are right now? What is it? How do you feel? How do you see yourself?
I mean,
when you think about that?
I mean, it feel good for real. Like, to be away from all them people who just put all that bad into my head, and then now I'm with people who doing good and putting good in my head.
Yeah.
That feel good.
I know we talk about the justice system. We talk about how we met you. We talked about, things like what you doing now. What about your plans? I know you said you going to college soon. Trust me, I'm right behind you. But what's your plans? What's your aspirations? What you working on?
Like, for real, like going to college, I hope I could go for business and maybe come up with a business. But if not, I'm hoping me and my brother could take y'all spots.
You hear me?
Wait.
That on the reverse.
Wow. Well, no. I mean, when we think about it, the whole premise of the Boys to Mentors program is that you once start out as a young man and go through all the things you have to go through, and then eventually you come to the other side where you begin to mentor like the person that mentored you. So our North Star for the Delta Project is how do I become something I don't see? So you speak to you living exactly what we've been envisioning, this idea that you connect with somebody, that somebody helps support you, you see each other in a mirror effect, and then you become what you haven't seen. Now, for me, go ahead.
That's fact, go ahead.
Because for me, I'm excited to hear that, because one of the things that I was hoping that what will happen eventually is that you would join the team and that you would come out as a mentor to mentor other young people. Because we got 10-year-olds that are families that are reaching out to us that are kids.
So is that an offer?
Yeah, that's an offer.
Is that an offer?
That's an offer.
Yeah, of
That's an
course.
offer.
Yeah, of course.
No,
Yeah.
that's an offer, man, because I can't do it. I can, at my age, there's proximity. My job is to create the pathway or to create the opportunity. Your job is to take it and run with it. So that's the legacy right there.
I got you.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah, it's definitely possible. And I told you, Cole ain't gonna be here forever. I ain't gonna be here forever. But like, we kind of want to recycle, you know. So that just make me think. Now that you doing so good, and I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to say I know you, and I got to know you now, and I've been with you on your journey.
I appreciate that.
But I also want to ask, like, what would you tell your younger self now? I remember Cole asking me this when I first came on.
My younger self.
This is a big question. This is a big question.
My younger self.
And I feel like it's needed. Like, with everything that you know now, all the wisdom, all the knowledge that you gather, what would you tell you, the 14-year-old you, or maybe even younger, you know, before you got into the streets or while you was heading in that direction? What would you tell them?
Tighten up. I ain't gonna lie. Like, me, what I was thinking back then, my mindset was just focused on the streets and what I'm gonna do that night. Like, it wasn't even focused on let me get.
So it was like in the moment.
Yeah, like it wasn't even focused on let me get this assignment done. Let me do this so I could do this for school. Like it was never that. Like, it was never let me get a job. It wasn't that. Like, it was always just let me go get this car. Let me go get this car. And then it really just got good for me once I realized, like, I had to tighten up.
So what would you say influenced you? Like, what pulled you in that direction?
Like the streets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
to turn it around, what ultimately pulled you to tighten up?
All right, for real, I ain't even about to sit on here and lie or none of that. All right, I'm finna tell the straight truth. So what happened was, I used to hang out with my little brother Michael, long live Michael. I used to hang out with him and my cousin KJ. And growing up, we didn't really have no role models. Like, all we had was our moms, and we always had to be there for her. So we had to be the man in the house. So how KJ was with his mom, KJ, he older than me. So I looked up to him. KJ, he put money in my pocket. I ain't gonna lie, he did me good. But some stuff happened, and me and him ended up falling out. And my brother had to make me realize it's just life. Like, that's what happens when you get out of it. Like, when you get out of all that street stuff, people switch up and they turn on you. So with my cousin KJ, it's always love towards him. It's no bad blood. He know that. That's always going to be my blood, and that's always going to be my brother.
Gotcha.
And then he already know what it is with me. Like, ever since his little brother passed, bro, I got him 100%. After all that happened, like, man, dealing with a lot at that, just all being in my head. Like, it was just, I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. I'm gonna say it. How I got good, bro? Love, bro. That's what got me good,
Talk
bro.
a little bit about love.
I'll lie to you. In the summer, when I was on probation and surveillance, She would not let me leave that house. Promise you, she would have called my PO, my surveillance officer, anybody if I'd have left that house. I remember one time I left the house, got in the car. What? I get a call from my mom like 10 seconds later talking about getting this house, this, that, and the third. What? I got in the house, she FaceTime me, talking about, I got you, this, that. She thought it was funny. It wasn't funny. But she really changed my mindset and everything. And seeing her do good, I wanted part of that.
Okay. Wow. A couple of things I hear you say, role models. Like, and a lot of people talk about role modeling and they say you need a mentor. How many times have you heard in your journey you need a mentor, Dom?
Yeah.
How many people have told you that?
Like, good, like, I want to say a lot.
A lot of people have said that you need a mentor. Okay. And so when you heard that you need a mentor, what did you envision a mentor?
Oh man, I thought it was gonna be like the movies where you be laying on that couch and they get to talking to you about just like your personal stuff. So I was like, man, I'm finna go to sleep.
Okay.
I'm not doing this.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So that's what you thought a mentor was.
Yeah.
And I think you bring up something also really important, this concept of love. Most people guys don't talk about love. Like even the fact that you talked about, even dropped the word love, because love actually is a form of like expression of feelings and emotions.
For me and Bilal actually just had to talk about this today, man. Like, and I had a lot going on, but what I had to realize is that, or for me, I don't know about other men or nothing.
Okay.
But if you a real man, you gonna always express how you feel.
Okay.
To anybody. You gonna always let somebody know how you feel before you get played any of that.
Okay.
You gonna let it be known what it is. So for me, it's like you only love one time before you get messed up in the head, and that's when you just done with love. And that's why men cheat now.
Okay.
Once you break up with somebody, break somebody's heart, cheat, do anything to them, that's what make them just messed up and want to go and do them. But at the same time, that's what makes somebody better.
Okay.
But at the same time, though, when you got a ride or die by your side and she all for you, she help you, pick you up when you need it and all, that's when you know that you got love.
Okay. So you talk about companionship love. Can you talk to me a little bit about self-love? Because
When you love yourself,
when you love yourself.
It's when you do stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and then peace, that's the main thing. Bilal opened my eyes about that peace stuff, man.
Okay.
I be going on walks now, listening to music, just jamming. Like, I don't even be caring about the world. I don't even be caring what's going on. It's just you just in your own mindset and you care about yourself at that moment. So you so peaceful, you smiling and all. And then when you go out, I ain't gonna lie to you, sometimes I be going out with my girl, I be smelling the like perfume and everything. That be smelling good. I ain't gonna lie to you. That be like, yeah. Like stuff like that. That be yeah. And then sometimes even when I go out with my brother and then we go in the Bath and Body Works or somewhere with like jeans. I love jeans, so I'm gonna bless myself with it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna buy myself something.
Okay.
Like, yeah, stuff like that.
So some self-care.
Yeah.
Okay. 17 years old, getting ready to graduate from high school, talking about love, self-care, positivity, after a journey that you've been on. What advice would you give another young man who is now a 14-year-old going through the things that you talked about, especially because the streets is calling them?
For real.
What would you tell them right now?
Keep your head up, get away from that crowd, and just stay by yourself for real. Like, a lot of people think going by yourself is just gonna be hard and that you need somebody to lean on, but you really don't. You just need yourself. Once you got yourself and once you just like doing good, it's gonna make you smile. Like a big smile. Like when I just came up in here, I shook up Bilal and it was just like I had a big old smile on my face, like I'm really here doing it. And then like for real, just tighten up and get your stuff together. Cause all that street stuff, it's not it. Like all that money, I thought that was good. It's not it. All that stuff, it's just not it. Them guns, put that stuff down. It's just not it. So
I feel like what I'm hearing you say throughout the interview, is as you're giving this advice for another 14-year-old to leave all of that alone, is it safe to say that you're also saying pick up a healthier relationship? Because I hear
I
you say be
mean,
alone, but I also hear you are making the connection with the
yeah.
mentorship with Bilal.
Yeah, I say that. Yeah, like get somebody who like get you a day one.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's what I call it. Get you a day one who you know who gonna ride it out with you, who you know is just there with you. Like some could have a female who gonna ride it out with them. Some could just like rock it out with their homeboy or their brother.
okay, so get a day one.
Yeah, that's what you need. Need a day one.
Okay, get a day one.
Day one. I feel that. I feel like constantly in life, I feel like I agree with you. I feel like we definitely need time to be alone and be comfortable with being alone and being in our thoughts. I mean, I tell Cole this, I tell you this constantly, like, and even I try to mimic it in my own life, being aware, being conscious of self. It's crazy to think that he telling us this
Yeah.
months ago,
No, I'm listening.
beginning of this year.
I remember sitting in at that table with
Yeah,
you.
you progressed a lot.
Yeah, man.
You progressed a lot, and I wish we could show them your journey.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Because that was days I came in there. I'm like, whew. Wow.
man, I got skinnier too. Man.
Yeah, yeah.
Man.
I mean, and I remember you talking about your weight loss journey and how that's impacted you too. You know that again. That these are the things that we don't talk about out loud with our other male peers. But I think that all those things that are important and they're necessary in terms of our own growth. So yeah, man, you've been doing a lot of work.
Yes.
That goes unnoticed sometimes. So I do have another particular question that kind of shifts us a little bit, especially when we talk about families in the juvenile justice system. I do a lot of work working with parents who have children involved in the system, and oftentimes what I hear from a lot of professionals and even parents too, that it's the parents' fault. Like oftentimes how children end up in the juvenile justice system is closely related to their parents. Their parents lack of parenting, parents being part of the problem. When you think about your experience and your journey, what do you think your family needed? And do you think that kids that are in the juvenile justice system, that is their families that is the problem?
Like me growing up, my mom always struggled. I never had my dad or none of that. I grew up watching some stuff.
Yeah.
So for me growing up, seeing all that, I kind of like thought like, dang, my mom just working by herself, just doing all this by herself. So that's not a reason. That's a reason to help. But for me, it's who I was looking up to. That was my fault, what I did. But my mom, she always put a roof over my head. She always had clothes for me, all of that. Half of the time, it's not their fault. Half of the time, the kids, they just be like, dang, my mom be on this, my mom be on that. But it's really to get them better.
Yeah.
It's really to make them realize, like, it's really to get your stuff together for real.
Yeah.
They not telling you that stuff for no reason. Somebody won't tell you nothing for no reason.
So, what would you say you would have needed? What did you feel like you needed at that time?
Oh, I needed a dad. I ain't gonna lie to you. At that time, I needed a role model. Like, but I didn't really have no older dude to look up to. Like, my mom boyfriend at the time, nah. Because I ain't finna look up to nobody who just come and go. Yeah. That's not me. So, I needed to look up to somebody more and see more. So, y'all two coming in here, that actually helped a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's powerful what you just said. And thank you for answering the question. And thank you for being vulnerable, because that's a very vulnerable question. And the key word I heard you say is that I needed a dad. Like that's I think I grew up without my dad. You grew up with your dad, right? I needed a dad too. And that impact can be lifelong. And I'm still healing. I'm 45. And I have my dad. I found my father.
No, I know my dad and everything, but it's like, I don't want you to be in my life now. You wasn't there all them time, so I'm not finna call your phone and ask you for something. Like, nah.
So I'm gonna ask you another hard question. Do you know your dad's story?
Like, a little bit, yeah, but he like it's not that,
Okay.
cause he got like I want to say 5, 7 baby mamas.
Okay.
So it's like he did us all the same, but we all still locked in and we all tight.
Okay.
Like my older sister, she graduated early just like me at 17, graduated early during COVID, graduated early. She basically raised me and my older brother. She got her own car by herself, got her own apartment by herself, got her own job by herself, and right now she's still helping out my older sister who pregnant right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we just got deep.
Yeah.
We just got deep for a second. But what's next? What's next for you?
For me, man, I'm hoping once I graduate, I could maybe move on to college. I mean,
No, why maybe? No.
you never
Tell us
know
what
what's
you doing.
going to happen.
Hey,
Tell us what you doing.
No, man.
Hey.
Ain't no maybe.
Ain't no maybe in this.
Yeah,
It's just do it.
you never know what's going to happen. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, you never know. Because, like, I mean, GR, that's a hard place to stay. I've been looking at Atlanta a lot.
Okay.
So I might just pop up over there, get all my stuff straight, like, restart.
The North Star of the podcast. What do you feel like you know now after all this time, after all your lived experience, after being in the group, you know, being with us over time? What would you say you know now?
I know how to be a man. Like, right now.
No hesitation on that.
I mean,
Nah.
it was
It was
confidence.
quick. Yeah.
Like, before, I was just like a little boy. I promise you, like, I wouldn't, like, I'd do stuff that I wouldn't even do right. Like, I'd do stuff I wouldn't even do right now. Like, it was just different. Like, now I could feel myself growing up, and now I got responsibilities and stuff to actually do. Before, I was spending my money on dumb stuff. Like, I was just going out with my friends and just spending it. Like, I ain't even care. But now, like, it'll be times where I'm saving up and I got stuff that I gotta do. So maybe it'll be times where I tell my friends, like, no, I'm straight. I can't go and do this because I gotta pay my phone bill or I gotta help my mom with this or that. Like, it's just responsibilities that you gotta do as growing up. So you gotta really become a man.
Thank you for listening. Check out our programs on the Delta Project's website, thedeltaproject.co, and be sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.